discuss further the possible diplomatic row between Nigeria and South Africa. Joining us on the news at 10 is Dr. Femi Adegbulu, a lecturer of diplomatic history at Redeemers University in Mowe, Lagos. You're welcome to the news at 10.
It's my pleasure to be here again. Thanks.
Of course, one of the main questions, you've heard the story, you already understand, much of what is going on. But one question that people are asking is what could have warranted the action of the South African government to deport that many number of Nigerians back home?
Well, the issue of yellow fever vaccine is a subterfuge to molest Nigerians. The kind of xenophobia has been on for a long time. You recall that even as we speak now, there is a prison, I think it is in Joburg, or I saw it, I think it's Joburg or Durban, where there is a preponderance of Nigeria. Over 80% of the inmates there are Nigerians. And so these people have this systematic way of humiliating Nigeria over time. And I was told recently that by those who work in the aviation industry, that almost on a daily basis, Nigerian corpses are being flown from South Africa to Nigeria, which means they are just being killed indiscriminately. So South Africa is one of the most ungrateful countries I've ever seen, especially to Nigeria, which has actually helped her in terms of need. You recall all the things Nigeria did for South Africa during the time of their trial, and it's unfortunate that we are being paid by this way.
So let's just assume that, okay, those Nigerians who were being deported are people who didn't have the necessary yellow fever vaccination card. What is the proper procedure for deportation?
Well, of course, a proper procedure for deportation is to at least alert the Nigerian embassy in the country to let the envoy or ambassador know that there is a case like this and not indiscriminate deportation and humiliation of Nigeria. In fact, like I said, this yellow fever something is just one of those, just a minor thing, just to show their bitterness and animosity against Nigeria.
But South Africa is not the only country that requires a yellow fever vaccination card. You also have countries like Cote d'Ivoire and some other countries within the West African region. How important really is the yellow fever vaccination card? How important really is it?
It is important to the countries who have it as a rule, okay, that other people traveling to their country should produce it. But the fact that Nigeria is not one of the countries that is endangered by that kind of yellow fever, whatever, that is the reason why one really wonder why this kind of treatment is being meted to Nigerians, because we are not, we don't have that risk in us. Okay, what about, we are even let's say, very benevolent. We should have been asking South Africans, for instance, to bring their clean bill of health against HIV and all that. But we are not even endangered in this area of yellow fever. I don't know why we are singled out for this kind of treatment.
This is one of the few situations where we see the Nigerian government reciprocating what has happened. We heard that yesterday or 2 days ago, 28 South Africans were refused entry into Nigeria. They were actually deported back from the Murtala Mohammed International Airport. But what's the best way to handle a situation like this, apart from citizen diplomacy that's playing out now?
Okay, sincerely, I'm so happy because for the first time I see Nigerian officials, giving a kind of tit for tat. There is a principle in international relations, which is a principle of reciprocity. And a situation like this is just the right thing the Nigerian government is doing to make sure that the people who are treating their citizens this way also get the kind of treatment. Otherwise, this is a really diplomatic faux pas, really. It has not really got full-blown, level, which we now lead to the ultimate, which is recalling of ambassador and all that. But we hope that the two parties will be able to resolve it amicably. And like I said before, it depends on how South Africans handle this case. Well, that is what we prevent it from actually reaching the level whereby we have a severance of relations.
We're only seeing reactions from this part of this whole diplomatic row. We're not hearing reactions from South Africa itself. I want to ask what role the Nigerian High Commission in South Africa, did they have a role to play in this?
Of course, they have a role to play, and the fact is that they should have played that role before now, before it happened this way. And that's why I'm happy at what the External Affairs Minister is doing, because it shows that we have had it up to here. This thing have been happening over the years, which Nigerian government have not actually deemed it necessary. And that is why also the school of thought which says that it is maybe because a serving senator is involved, that's why we have all these all these who and cry about how Nigerians are being treated. I remember having said this thing in so many fora about how Nigerians are being treated abroad, that there is need for reciprocal treatment, there is need for reprisal action by Nigerians to this other country, in Saudi Arabia, in Cote d'Ivoire, even in Ghana here. We are being treated as if we are not we are not equal in this commonwealth of nations. But now that Nigeria seems to have woken up to its responsibility, I think Nigerians should be happy about it. And we pray, we hope that this kind of this tempo will be sustained, so that these countries will know that Nigeria is not just a sovereign country, and we also have the power to retaliate, to whatever ill treatment that is meted out to our citizens.